my door now, I can kind of relax and keep relaxing.
Can we call this one the Barry Joe Stull show? 1 through whatever. I think we're at 4. No, we're at 6. Barry Joe Stull. Can I just pronounce the Germanic ST? That's why I trip on your name, is I want to say Stuhl. I don't want to say sta.
No, actually, it's where I'm from, it rhymes with owl.
Staul?
It's Staul.
Staul.
Okay, in Pennsylvania, where the part of Pennsylvania I'm from, you can easily qualify it as having a lazy mouth.
Staul.
So, my sister's husband, name, it's spelled Y-O-U-G-H, and rhymes with what you would say would be the business stock report, Dow Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Y-O-U-G-H rhymes with Dow.
Wow.
So does S-T-U-L-L. They're all the same. It's owl. It's all owl. It rhymes like, it's like we have Powell Boulevard in Portland, P-O-W-E-L-L, or the bird, owl. It's kind of like that.
Shout.
But it's really just the closing of your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense.
It's just making one word. Ow. You know, it's like when you hit yourself, you poke yourself, you say ow. But that's all it is. It's just a lazy mouth. It's like the least amount of things you could possibly do to say what you're saying. You know, it's
Pennsylvania, which city?
Pennsylvania,
which region? The west side of
the Gulf of Mexico side of Pennsylvania.
That side. Okay. Okay.
You see the difference?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, because it's the Gulf of Mexico was our port.
Oh, I see. I do see. Yes, okay, now I do see.
There was the Appalachian Mountains caused the Whiskey Rebellion because the Pennsylvania farmers in the Pittsburgh area saw that the tax on whiskey was an unfairly impacted them compared to others because they could condense, so to speak, the wheat or whatever, the grain into whiskey and transport the whiskey over the Appalachian Mountains instead of taking the wheat itself over the Appalachian Mountains, or the rye over the Appalachian Mountains, which is a big deal. If you look at them on the map, they're kind of like laying down the fingers of your hands, and that's what the mountains are. Just one ridge after another after another. So much that the Turnpike in Pennsylvania has a bunch of tunnels I remember going through when we went from our place to the New Jersey coast. Like there's tunnels to get through, just to get from east to west in Pennsylvania. There's tunnels through the mountains. And, you know, shit, we did that here in Portland because the mountains are right here by downtown. But, you know, most places you don't tunnel through mountains much.
Wow. I finally realized the East Coast vibe.
I mean, there are these tunnels that are like, oh shit, I don't know, could they be a mile long? Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to Oregon. Thank you for bringing a little taste of the East Coast to Oregon. I think you've helped Oregon immensely. Thank you, Barry, for your service.
Well here's what's so freak show about it all, right? There's a book called The Men Who Built the Bridge, John Roebling and His Son. Washington Roebling was born in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, about 1934, 5, 6, somewhere like that, right? And his father, John Roebling, invented the wire rope in Pennsylvania, in Saxonburg, where he was kind of, you might think of him as a failed farmer, right? And apparently he wasn't that good of a musician, but at least he knew from having gone to engineering school in Germany before he immigrated to the United States, he knew a little bit about suspension, like your guitar string over the bridge. It's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he made his way doing some canal work when they were doing canals over most likely other waterways, because you'd have a river or something like that the canal boats would have to cross the river by, going from across on a bridge, right, over the high line, right, instead of dipping down to the river, which was not what the canal boats were all about, right? So he had to build these watertight bridges that the canal boats could go on. And the interesting thing about a canal boat on a canal bridge that's full of canal water
Mm-hmm.
doesn't change the weight on the bridge at all. Because as long as the boat is floating, it's floating because it's displacing an equal amount of water.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how heavy your boat is, as long as it's floating, it's still not as heavy as the water that it's displacing. And it doesn't matter how heavy your boat is with coal, as long as it floats, the bridge is going to hold it. Because it's holding the water, which is much heavier, and that was the big deal. How do you hold all this fucking water so you can cross the gully in Pennsylvania somewhere to get the boat from here to there, right? And so apparently, one of the inspirations for John Roebling in developing the wire rope was a catastrophic rope failure, a head rope failure, which would probably be cannabis, no doubt. But when they were towing these, they would load the boats onto rail cars to tow them up the mountains in eastern Pennsylvania. And apparently, he witnessed the catastrophic failure in a crash and death and destruction or whatever. But that inspired him to invent the wire rope, which he hid in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, before they took the whole show to Trenton, New Jersey. And but that ended up with the St. John's Bridge here in Portland being built by the Roebling Company, which was his son's outfit out of New Jersey after Washington Roebling completed building the Brooklyn Bridge, and after the Phillips Gate Bridge was built with Roebling cable, and that was kind of their case. Well, actually, I think the St. John's Bridge was like 1926, so that would have been before the Golden Gate Bridge. So it might have been a dress rehearsal.
Barry, what's this movie about? This is very nice, but it is about bridges, and I watched a really good bridge collapsing video, or like an OPB thing, like a public television thing. I kind of believe I'm unprepared to host bridge shows. It's very fascinating. I guess we do need bridges.
Yeah, anyhow, we did digress quite a bit, but I'm going to get back to the theme here. John Roebling was part of a religious order that came out here to Aurora, Oregon, and he didn't. And in that book, the men who built the bridge, John Roebling and his son, and the author of the book, aside from me just going to the Multnomah County Library and checking it out again for the third time, which I'm due to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned more when I read it, right? So anyhow, the author of that book is the guy that designed, the engineer who designed the St. John's Bridge here in Portland. Because he's an engineer, he was into John Roebling, obviously, or wouldn't have wrote this biography of him and his son Washington. But, okay, so anyhow, the point of it is in that book, there's a commentary about what would have happened in Oregon had John Roebling come out here. in that alternative history, that would have been expense of the Brooklyn Bridge, which is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like an 1880 project. But in all of his infinite brilliance and wisdom, John Roebling died as a product of two things. One was when they were siting the landings where they're actually going to have the Brooklyn Bridge be the Brooklyn Bridge. You know, somebody had to go say X marks the spot on the riverbank, right? So they were figuring that site out. And some shithole came in with a barge too fast and ended up smacking old John Roebling in the foot. And it crushed his foot, and he ended up getting an infection. Mm-hmm. And based on his prior experiences and his ongoing belief, he thought that running cold water on cold water was the cure. It's a hydrotherapy. That's what it was called, and it was a belief that cold water was the cure for anything.
Yeah.
And instead of using what might have otherwise been available, we'll just say that. I mean, how many qualifiers can I list there? Instead of using what might have otherwise been available, he relied on this hydrotherapy, and he got tetanus and died.
Okay.
And his son, who was also a school-trained engineer, although going to college in Troy, New York, Washington Roebling, from my hometown, completed the Brooklyn Bridge, and in the process, invented the bend. You know what scuba divers get?
The bends. The bends, yeah.
They invented that. Washington Roebling invented the bend.
Oh, no.
Yeah, what happened was they had these things called caissons, and what it was a giant, airtight, watertight, depending on what side you were on, thing that they were a big room that they were in that they built, right? Mm-hmm. And what these knuckleheads did, they were brave as hell. They took these building things that they got inside, and they put a bunch of what eventually became the stonework for the piers for the bridge. They're out there in the water, right? They put this shit on top of this wooden thing, and then pressed it down onto the river bottom, and they pumped air in there, and they went down there and they dug. And the further they dug, the more this thing sank down to the bottom. And that was their idea. They're going to dig all the way to the bottom and get all the muck out of the way until they finally get down to bedrock or something that they can build this bridge on, right? And so they get down to a certain level, and they're pumping air into this vessel. It's called a caisson, just like the caisson, keep rolling. I don't know what their caissons are, but these things are called these pressure, box you're in, right? And these guys were down there, and they're working by lamplight, and it's got to be some freak show colors, and the oxygen that they're breathing has got to be completely contaminated with, holy shit. So anyhow, they're digging all this muck out, and they get to a certain depth. But when they come back up to the surface, it's like the magic number where it actually causes the nitrogen in their blood to boil because of the pressure.
Okay.
And
so you want to hear a song? Can you hear very well? I was just thinking about this guy Sam Mirren. For some reason he died. I never knew him.
Okay, so what happened was they first had some guys started getting sick, we started getting sick, and then some of them they died so quick that they didn't know what the fuck happened. But that happened, seemingly had really good anesthetic weren't even accepted in 1881.
Wow. Do you want some veggies? Broken. Oh, I would offer you veggie soup too, Barry, but I don't believe it's possible through the telephone. Yes, I. Oh, I'm lifting weights and listening to music while you talk about bridges, and now George is having soup.
Oh, okay, so anyhow, Washington Roebling invented the band.
Right.
The building with brick, and that's what not female, right? So he can construction. He's supervising it. He was white burying the plans and whatnot. No, he kind of look with a telescope. So it's fucked up, in the scheme of things. I don't know. What do you think about Skinny Nick, Mary?
Skinny Nick? You mean Nick Fish?
Oh, that's right now.
I'm going to write a short story about the time Nick Fish walked up to the glass window and we glanced at each other and I was like, wow, that's a nice suit. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's Nick Fish. But Nick Fish and I had one little moment and it was lovely. He was like a suit model on a catwalk. And then he just happened to work for the city government. That was just his day job to his real job, which was being that cool dude. It was, I was alone eating a salad at the vegetarian restaurant in Portland.
We shook my hand at Broadway one night.
Are we having a Nick Fish seance or what?
No. I'm just thinking that, it was the one time that they actually had to try to be decent with me. They were making sure nobody was watching.
I had to sort of de-escalate the vibe when Laura Vanderland was chasing him like, why did you block me on Twitter? Why did you block me on Twitter? And I go up to him and I'm just like, what's your star sign? I've heard you're a Virgo. And he's like, no, I'm a Libra. And we were both collectively like, thank God, at least he's not a Virgo. He's a Libra. And then he was like aware that I was cool with him because I can be compatible with Libra somewhat. So we had a little star sign moment as Laura's like following him in, I think filming him as she asks him why he blocked her on Twitter. And that was in front of City Hall. It was nice.
Well, I have a couple of Nick Fish signs here. And they're Nick Fish for Portland.
Oh, wow.
And what I have somewhere on my laptop, video clip, is me with the UCKED card. And you just hold the UCKED card in front of strategically hold it in front of the Big Fish for Portland.
Uh-huh.
Changes it.
Do you know this crazy guy called Jeremy Solds Ginsburg? He lives about 16th, close to...
No. Did you hear what it said? Put two and two together. There's the Nick Fish for Portland sign for his campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I made a card that had the letters UCKED. And all I had to do was hold it in front of the sign. And it changed the sign completely. It didn't say Nick Fish for Portland anymore, did it? Mary, where'd you go?
Thank you for enjoying Sam Marin and Marion Bell's band called Melt, the bad B word. I hope you enjoyed the music. I don't know if you heard some background music. I was...
You get that yet?
Oh, your little...
That's Nick Fish fucks Portland, okay? Mary, it's saying Nick Fish fucks Portland. Mary? Mrs. Ang?
Mr. Ang.
Alright. So you see what I'm saying?
I mean, do you want to know what I think besides total boredom? Which is 100% of what I think. But if I were to have any additional thoughts on whatever you're trying to tell me, is I think you're talking about 4 letters or maybe some number letter game where you switch letters around. I'm not sure. Yeah, so am I supposed to be amused or am I supposed to laugh or say how clever or what?
No, yeah, well, I was just thinking, now that Skinny Nick has passed on to the beyond, I don't think it's going to be an opportunity for people to strategically stand and hold the card that says, change the sign from Nick Fish for Portland to Nick Fish for Portland. Because I think many people are of the same understanding that I am, but doing things like financing PCRI, knowing that they're keeping Kabori Court making as Nick Fish do, I see other ones good for Portland.
He stood up to the 48-hour rule once for at least 5 minutes. When the experts came in to testify about, remember the 48-hour rule was after we shoot someone, we get like 48 hours to go out to dinner and figure out a story. He literally, yeah, the consultants were in, and I was like, wow, Nick, good job for being concerned as an attorney. Way to go. It was good.
What, the 48-hour rule?
Yeah, he stood up to the Portland police's. I mean, for a moment, and I'm not too sure. You know how he was? He was sort of discursive, and he could like make a point and quickly retreat from his own point, mid-sentence.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. Hey, who took his place as Parks Commissioner?
I think that was it, Miss Fish? No, Miss Fritz? Hey, but wait a minute. What's up with this Sam Adams? Let's make the next show about Sam. Let's close this one down and let's talk Sam Adams.